I'd always known I was different, even before I had the words for it. In the dusty sprawl of West El Paso, Texas, where the Rio Grande whispered secrets to the desert wind and the border lights flickered like distant stars, kids like me didn't get fairy tales. We got survival stories, the kind etched in chain-link fences and faded murals of saints watching over to carry us. My name's Riley Hayes, and back then in the summer of '08, I was just a scrawny kid with scraped knees from climbing the mesquite trees behind our double-wide, dreaming of girls in a way that made my stomach flip like a dust devil. It started innocent enough. There was Sophia, the new girl from across the tracks, with braids that smelled like coconut oil and a laugh that echoed off the adobe walls. We'd sneak into the old mission ruins after school, trading comic books and whispers about crushes on pop stars. One afternoon, the sun baking the red earth, she leaned in during a game of truth or dare. Her lips brushed mine, soft, tentative, tasting like cherry chapstick, and the world tilted. It wasn't fireworks. It was a quiet unraveling, like the thread of a worn-out seam giving way. But secrets in a town like West El Paso? They fester like cholla thorns. Sophia's older brother caught us holding hands behind the bleachers at recess, giggling over nothing. By dinner, the rumor had slithered to my parents' ears through the church gossip line. Dad, a welder at the auto plant with calluses like river rocks, came home reeking of Pabst and fury. Mom, her face pinched from years of folding laundry for minimum wage, crossed herself like I'd summoned the devil himself. "You're confused," she said first, her voice trembling as she lit a Virginia Slim. "It's that TV. Those shows from California turning girls all mixed up." But I wasn't confused. I'd felt it blooming in my chest since I was 8, watching the neighbor girls wrestle in the sprinklers, my heart racing not from the game but from the curve of their smiles. "No, Mom," I whispered, my voice small against the hum of the box fan. "I like girls. Really like them." The backhand came swift, a crack that split the humid air. Dad's belt followed, lashes that left welts like lightning scars on my back. "We don't raise abominations," he growled, his eyes red-rimmed with something that looked like fear. They packed my things that night, 2 outfits, my sketchbook filled with drawings of women warriors, and a toothbrush, while thunder rolled in from the Franklin Mountains. "Get out and don't come back till you find Jesus," Mom said, shoving me toward the door. No goodbye hug, no plea to stay and talk. Just the click of the latch, sealing me out into the monsoon. I ran until my lungs burned, the rain plastering my hair to my face, turning the dirt roads to mud. West El Paso blurred into a watercolor of neon signs and barking dogs. The shelter downtown was full. Overflow from the latest factory layoffs. And the church youth group? They'd pray for me, sure, but not house me. By midnight, soaked and shivering, I found refuge in the one place that still felt safe. West Side Middle School. The side door by the gym was always propped with a brick for late-night janitors, and I'd snuck in before to draw under the stars through the skylights. The hallways were ghosts of daytime chaos. Lockers dented from slam-dunk dreams, bulletin boards plastered with faded flyers for the fall festival. I crept to Mr. Ramirez's art room, the one with the lumpy couches from the drama club. Curling up on one, I pulled my knees to my chest, the welts throbbing like accusations. Sleep came in fits, haunted by Sophia's face dissolving into my parents' rage. What now? Steal food from the corner store? Hitch to Juarez and vanish? At 12, the world was a locked door and I had no key. Dawn crept in pink and gold, the kind of Texas sunrise that promised mercy but delivered heat. I must have dozed off hard because the first thing I felt was a hand on my shoulder, gentle, not grabbing. My eyes snapped open to a woman in uniform, her badge catching the light like a hesitant beacon. She was tall, maybe 5'10", with dark hair pulled into a practical ponytail and eyes the color of spring sagebrush, green steady, seeing right through the armor of dirt and defiance I wore. "Hey kiddo," she said, her voice low and warm like chamomile tea on a bruised soul. No judgment, no "what are you doing here?" Just that hand, lingering just a second too long, as if anchoring me to the earth. "I'm Officer Elena Torres, School Resource Officer. You look like you could use a friend." I scrambled back, heart hammering. Cops meant questions, meant forms with my name that would snake back to Mom and Dad. "I'm fine," I muttered, wiping sleep from my eyes. But my stomach growled loud enough to echo off the cinderblock walls, betraying me. Elena didn't laugh. She crouched to my level, her uniform pants whispering against the linoleum. Up close, she smelled like citrus lotion and gun oil. A weird mix that said, "Don't mess with me, but I bake cookies on Sundays." Her face was all angles softened by laugh lines, mid-30s maybe, with a scar faint as a whisper above her left eyebrow. Finds a lie we tell ourselves when the truth hurts too much. "What's your name, Mija?" "Riley," I said, the word slipping out before I could cage it. Something in her eyes, tired knowing, made me want to trust just a little. She nodded like it was the most normal thing in the world to find a runaway curled in an art room. "All right, Riley. First things first, breakfast. The cafeteria's got those killer breakfast burritos on Fridays." She stood, offering a hand. I stared at it, palm upturned like an invitation to a life raft. What choice did I have? The rain had stopped, but the storm inside me raged on. That morning, over huevos rancheros wrapped in foil, Elena listened. Not the pitying nod and smile of counselors, but real listening. The kind where she leaned in, fork paused midair as I spilled it all. The kiss with Sophia, the belt, the door slamming shut. Her jaw tightened when I got to the welts, but she didn't interrupt. "That's not right," she said finally, her voice edged with steel wrapped in silk. "Parents are supposed to protect, not punish for who you love." I shrugged, picking at the tortilla. "They say it's a choice. Like I picked this to spite him." Elena set her fork down, her gaze locking mine. "Love's never a choice, kid. It's a gift. And yours? It's gonna light up the world someday." She paused, glancing out the window at the waking campus. Kids streaming in with backpacks slung low, the flag snapping in the breeze. "Look, I can't fix everything today, but I can make a call. Social services may be a safe spot for the night. You game?" I nodded, a lump in my throat the size of the Chihuahuan Desert. For the first time since the rain started, I didn't feel utterly alone. Elena Torres wasn't family, wasn't even a friend yet. But in that fluorescent-lit cafeteria, with the sizzle of the grill in the background, she was the first person who'd seen me. Not the sin, not the mistake, but Riley. The next few days blurred into a haze of paperwork and waiting rooms that smelled like stale coffee and regret. Elena became my unofficial shadow, her cruiser idling outside the CPS office while a caseworker with a clipboard and a bad perm grilled me about home. "Abandonment," she noted, scribbling furiously. "Emotional abuse." I sat there in the stiff plastic chair, legs swinging because my feet didn't touch the floor, watching the ceiling fan blades slice the air like unanswered prayers. Elena waited in the hall, thumbing through a dog-eared copy of The House on Mango Street. Ironic, given the border town vibes. When the caseworker finally released me with a foster placement voucher, Elena scooped me up in her SUV, the leather seats warm from the sun. "Temporary digs at the YWA," she said, tossing me a water bottle. "Bunk beds, group showers, but the counselors are solid. And hey, mandatory ice cream run after." The Y was a concrete bunker downtown, graffiti-tagged walls, hiding rooms full of kids with stories heavier than their backpacks. My roommate, a wiry 13-year-old named Jax with a buzz cut and a chip on her shoulder, eyed me like fresh meat. "What did you do, steal candy?" she asked, flopping onto the bottom bunk. "Kissed a girl," I muttered, shoving my sketchbook under the mattress. Jax's eyebrows shot up. Then she grinned, all teeth and mischief. "Nos cheat? Welcome to the club, Hayes. Half these foster brats are queer as a $3 bill." She became my first real ally that week, sharing contraband candy bars and trading ghost stories about the border patrol ghosts that haunted the arroyos. But nights were the worst. The thin mattress did nothing for the ache in my back, and dreams replayed the trailer door slamming, Mom's face twisting into a stranger's. Elena checked in daily, her visits a lifeline. She'd swing by after her shift, uniform swapped for jeans and a faded Ranger's hoodie, bearing tacos from the truck on Alameda. We'd sit on the stoop, watching the sunset paint the mountains bloody orange, and she'd tell me stories, not the polished cop tales but the raw ones. How she'd grown up in the barrio, daughter of a Chicana seamstress and a mechanic dad who split when she was 6. "I knew I liked girls by 10, she confessed one evening, her voice casual as if discussing the weather. "Snuck peeks at the lifeguards at Ascot Park. Thought I was the only one till I found a zine in the library about Stonewall." My head whipped up, heart stuttering. "You're?" "Yep. Out and proud since college." She winked, but her eyes held shadows. Got me through the academy. Plenty of dinosaurs who think badges don't come in rainbow. But you? You're braver than I was at your age, Riley. Owning it at 12? That's fire. Her words wrapped around me like a serape on a chilly night. For the first time, the shame loosened its grip. We started a ritual. Every Friday, she'd pick me up for field trips. First was the Franklin Mountains hike, where we'd scramble up the switchbacks, her laughing as I sketched the yucca blooms against the sky. Then the Mission Trail, her recounting the history of Spanish friars and indigenous rebels, her voice weaving magic from the stones. But foster life wasn't all sunsets and stories. 2 weeks in, the system churned again. A spot opened at a group home in Socorro, farther from school. Elena fought it, her voice sharp on the phone with the caseworker. The kid needs stability, not another upheaval. But bureaucracy won, and suddenly I was packing again, Jack slipping me a sharp-scrawled note. Stay fierce, queerling. The group home was a squat ranch style on the outskirts, ringed by chain link and tumbleweeds. 8 kids, 2 overworked house parents, and rules thicker than the adobe walls. My chores rotated: laundry, dishes, yard work under the relentless sun. The other girls were a mix. Runaways from cartel whispers, teens aging out with nowhere to go. There was Mia, 16 and sharp-tongued, who braided my hair while spilling tea on her ex-boyfriend drama. No one batted an eye at my sketches of women in armor. If anything, they crowded around, adding their own flourishes. Elena's visits kept the loneliness at bay. She'd arrive with her cruiser lights off like a secret agent, and we'd drive to the levee by the river. One night, stars thick as spilled milk overhead, she pulled out a thermos of hot chocolate spiked with cinnamon. Ever think about the future, Ree? She asked, passing me a mug. The nickname stuck soft as a hug. All the time. I traced the river's shimmer with my eyes. Maybe art school in Austin. Or LA, where they got pride parades every weekend. She chuckled low and fond. That's the spirit. But till then, you've got me in your corner. Her hand found mine in the dark, platonic, steady, and for a heartbeat the world felt conquerable. Then came the betrayal, sharp as a switchblade. It started with a letter from home, forwarded by CPS. Mom's handwriting shaky. We've prayed. Come back, fix this phase. Church camp in summer. No apology, just a summons. I tore it up, but the pieces haunted me. Jax had warned me about leaks in the system. Caseworkers chatting with bio families, spilling guts. Sure enough, a week later, Dad showed at the group home, sober for once, his truck idling like a threat. The house mom let him in, thinking reconciliation. He cornered me in the living room, breath sour. Your fairy's godmother been filling your head with lies? He sneered, nodding at Elena's cruiser parked down the block. She dropped me off earlier. She's helping. I shot back, chin up. Unlike you. His face darkened. Cops don't adopt strays. She's using you for her agenda. That gay recruitment crap the preacher warns about. He grabbed my arm, bruises blooming under his fingers. Pack up. We're leaving. I yanked free, yelling for the house mom. Chaos erupted, phones ringing, Dad bellowing scripture. Elena burst through the door minutes later, her presence a thunderclap. Let go of her, sir, she ordered, voice ice over gravel. Dad lunged, wild-eyed, but she sidestepped, cuffing him with practiced ease. Assault on a minor. You're done. As the cruiser hauled him away, sirens slicing the dusk, I collapsed against her, sobs racking me. He hates me, I choked. They all do. Elena held me then, fierce and unyielding. Not all. Not me. In that moment, with the scent of creosote and cordite in the air, our bond forged deeper, guardian in charge, but laced with something unspoken. A thread of understanding that whispered of futures intertwined. Time in the group home stretched like taffy. Sticky, sweet in patches but pulling you thin. School became my anchor. West Side Middle a chaotic hive where I buried myself in art class. Charcoal smudging my fingers black as my moods. Mr. Ramirez, with his paint-splattered overalls and endless patience, hung my pieces on the wall. Fierce women astride desert winds, their eyes mirrors of my own defiance. Sophia faded into memory. Her family had moved to Dallas after the whispers turned vicious, but she'd left a note in my locker once. You're my first love. Stay you. Elena's role evolved too. After the dad debacle, CPS fast-tracked her emergency foster certification. Turns out, She'd been quietly pursuing it, citing personal investment in her application. By fall, I was cleared to move into her 2-bedroom bungalow on the edge of the barrio. A stucco haven with bougainvillea climbing the walls and a backyard swing under a pecan tree. Not adoption yet, she cautioned over moving boxes of my sketchbooks and her old vinyl collection. But home? Yeah, that's what this is. Home. The word tasted like fresh tortillas and possibility. Her place was lived in chaos. Bookshelves groaning with Gloria Anzaldúa and Audre Lorde. A fridge stocked with nopales and Greek yogurt. Photos of her college softball team. All women, all grinning like they owned the stars. Elena was a natural guardian. Her cop shifts balanced with bedtime stories from the Joy Luck Club and weekend drills on boundaries. How to say no, how to trust your gut. But adolescence doesn't play nice. At 13, puberty hit like a freight train. Braces, growth spurts, and a crush on the student teacher that left me doodling her initials in margins. Elena noticed, of course. Nothing escaped those sage-green eyes. Over dinner one night, carnitas sizzling, she set down her fork. Crushes are normal, Ree. Even the confusing ones. Just remember consent's king. And age gaps? They're stop signs till you're on equal ground. I blushed, shoving rice around my plate. Like you and anyone. Fishing, always fishing for pieces of her. She laughed, but it was tinged with old ache. Had a girl in the academy. Elena. Fiery like you, taught me to salsa in her kitchen. But she bailed when the job swallowed me whole. Cops in love? Tough combo. Her gaze drifted to the window where fireflies danced like lost souls. I filed it away, that vulnerability, a crack in her armor that made her human. High school loomed sophomore year. A beast with lockers the size of coffins and cliques sharper than barbed wire. I thrived in art, floundered in algebra, and found my tribe in the GSA club, Gay Straight Alliance, though half the S's were secret L's and B's. There was Lena, a non-binary junior with blue-streaked hair and a knack for zine-making, who pulled me into poetry slams at the coffee house. Our first kiss happened backstage, fumbling and electric, tasting of vanilla lattes and rebellion. It was sweet, exploratory, but when I brought Lena home for movie night, Elena's smile was tight. Proud of you, kiddo, she said, but her eyes scanned Lena like a perimeter check. Jealousy? Nah, couldn't be. Elena was family. Big sis, mentor, the woman who'd bandaged my scrapes and cheered my first gallery show at 14. But cracks formed. I'd catch her watching me sketch, her expression a mix of pride and something wistful, like she'd lost a bet with time. And me? I started seeing her differently too. The curve of her neck when she tied her hair back, the way her laugh lines crinkled during our stargazing sessions on the roof. The conflict brewed slow, then erupted in sophomore spring. Elena's ex, Elena, resurfaced. A detective now, transferred to El Paso PD. She showed up at a barbecue Elena hosted for the GSA kids. All polished confidence in a sundress, her dark curls cascading like a challenge. I watched from the porch swing as they talked, Elena's hand brushing Elena's arm, laughter flowing easy as the Micheladas. Jealousy twisted in my gut, not of Elena but of the ease they shared, the history I couldn't touch. That night after the guests left, I confronted her in the kitchen, dishwater sudsing over my hands. You still love her? The words tumbled out, sharper than intended. Elena paused, drying a plate with deliberate care. Love's complicated, Ree. Elena and I? We're oil and water, good friends now maybe. But you. She set the plate down, turning to face me. Her eyes searched mine, and in that fluorescent glow I saw it. Not sisterly affection, but a depth that scared us both. You're my world. Always will be. I stepped closer, heart thundering. Then why does it feel like you're pulling away? The air thickened, charged like the air before a haboob. Her hand cupped my cheek, soft, trembling, and for a heartbeat our worlds collided. Then she stepped back, exhaling like she'd surfaced from deep water. Because I'm 38 and you're 16. That's not pulling away, that's protecting. Her voice cracked, the cop facade fracturing. I won't be the reason you regret anything. Tears stung my eyes. But what if I? No. Firm but laced with pain. Focus on school, on Lena, on you. I've got your back always. But this. She gestured between us, a chasm widening. It waits. Or it doesn't. Betrayal stung. Not hers but the universe's, timing us like cruel puppeteers. I stormed to my room, Slamming the door, posters of Frida Kahlo mocking my turmoil. Lena became my escape. Picnics by the river, stolen kisses under cottonwoods. But she sensed the distance, the way my sketches shifted from playful to shadowed women locked in eternal gaze. Summer brought the hammer. Elena's precinct drama escalated. Budget cuts, a corruption probe snagging her mentor. She came home late, hollow-eyed, collapsing on the couch with a tumbler of bourbon. One night I found her crying, raw shoulders shaking. "They suspended Ruiz," she whispered. "Framed for skimming evidence. And me? I'm next if I don't play ball." I knelt beside her, hand on her knee. "Fight it. You're the good one." She looked at me, then really looked, and pulled me into a hug that blurred lines. "God, Ree, what did I do to deserve you?" Her breath warmed my temple, and I melted, the forbidden pull magnetic. But betrayal doubled down. Elena, ever the opportunist, leaked a tip to IA Anonymous, but Elena knew. "She's protecting her promotion." Elena spat over coffee the next morning, face ashen. "After everything." The probe cleared Elena, but trust shattered. She withdrew, shifts doubling, our talks shrinking to logistics. I threw myself into art camp in Santa Fe, Lena tagging along, but the landscapes mocked me. Red rocks like open wounds. On the drive back, phone buzzing with Elena's texts. "Miss you. Home soon." My heart ached, a prelude to the storm. Climax hit Labor Day weekend. A GSA retreat in the mountains, cabins, campfires, truth circles. Lena and I argued over nothing. She accused me of emotional unavailability. "It's her, isn't it? Your cop savior." I denied, but the seed took root. That night, rain lashing the pines, I called Elena. "Come get me. Please." She arrived at dawn, wipers slashing the downpour, face drawn. The drive home was silence thick as fog. At the bungalow I broke. "I love you," I blurted, 17 now, the words a dam bursting. "Not like a sister. Like everything." Elena's hands gripped the wheel, white-knuckled. "Ree, stop." But her voice wavered. Then the gut punch. Her phone lit with Elena's name. She answered, voice steady. "Yeah, dinner sounds good." Hanging up, she met my eyes. "See? This is why. I can't hurt you like that." Betrayed by her caution, by Elena's ghost, I fled to my room. The chasm yawned, but in the quiet I sketched us. Not as guardian and ward, but equals, hands entwined under a rainbow horizon. The fallout lingered like monsoon humidity, heavy and unrelenting. Senior year dawned with me dodging Elena's concerned glances over breakfast, her attempts at normalcy. Pancakes shaped like stars, playlists of Chicano rock, grating like sandpaper. Elena became a fixture. They're just friends, dinner stretching into late nights. Laughter filtering through the walls like smoke signals of what I'd lost. I aced AP art, my portfolio bursting with raw emotion. Canvases of fractured mirrors and blooming cacti. Women emerging from shadows. Colleges scouted, UTEP for local, but my heart tugged west, to California Institute of the Arts, where queer stories weren't whispers but roars. Lena and I fizzled gentle. She deserved someone all in, not a girl haunted by what-ifs. "Go chase your cop dreams when you're legal," she said at our goodbye coffee, hugging me fierce. "But don't wait forever." Wise beyond her lip rings. Elena tried bridging the gap. Therapy sessions for us both, hers on workaholism, mine on attachment wounds. Our counselor, a soft-spoken Latina with wire rims, called it ambiguous loss. "Grieve the shift," she advised. "From family to whatever comes next." Elena nodded, but her eyes on me held oceans. Graduation night was magic dust. Cap and gown under stadium lights, my name echoing as I crossed the stage. Elena in the front row, clapping till her palms blistered. At the after-party in the park, lanterns strung like fireflies, we danced to Selena, her arms around my waist, platonic but electric. "Proud doesn't cover it," she murmured into my hair. "You're unstoppable, Ree." I pulled back, searching her face. "Then why does it feel like we're stuck?" The question hung ripe as summer peaches. She sighed, leading me to a bench by the fountain. "Because I love you too much to rush. You're 18 now, world's yours. CalArts? Take it. Live loud." Her thumb brushed my knuckles, a spark in the dark. "I'll be here. Always." College was a whirlwind. Burbank's palm-lined streets, dorms buzzing with accents from everywhere. I majored in illustration, minored in gender studies, diving into Audre Lorde essays and zine collectives. Dates came, baristas with tattoos, poets with fire, but none stuck, shadows of green eyes lingering. Summers I'd fly home, Elena meeting me at the gate, her hugs lingering longer each year. By 22 postgrad, I landed a gig at a queer graphic novel imprint in LA, designing covers for sapphic adventures. Success tasted bittersweet. Calls home were lifelines. Elena had climbed ranks, lieutenant now, heading community outreach, her speeches on LGBTQ+ safety going viral in border towns. Elena, a closed chapter. She transferred to Austin after a messy fallout. The turning point came Christmas 23. I flew back, 24 in bold, bearing a gift. A sketchbook of us through years, 12-year-old me in the classroom, evolving to now, hands clasped under a shared sunset. Elena unwrapped it by the tree, her breath catching at each page. Riley. Voice thick, she traced the final drawing. Us, older, equal, kissing soft against the Franklin peaks. I waited, I said, heart exposed. Not because I had to. Because it's you. She set the book down, cupping my face. Now level with hers, no child left. I've loved you since that art room, she confessed, tears silver in lamplight. Feared I'd ruin you. But this. Her lips met mine, tentative then sure, homecoming not conquest. Tasting of peppermint and promise, it healed old welts. We took it slow, therapy guiding the rebuild. Dates in the arroyos, hands held open. Her precinct knew, mine did too, support poured like rain after drought. Betrayals faded. Dad's silence a ghost. Mom's occasional card softening to proud in time. Humanistic grace. Forgiveness not forced but found. Years wove us tighter. At 28 I illustrated my first novel, our story veiled in fiction. A girl kicked out, found by a guardian who became love. Elena proposed on the roof, ring simple as her badge, under stars we'd claimed. Wedding in the Mission Gardens, Lena officiating, Jax toasting with tears. Vows echoed the river. In storms and sun I choose you. Now in our West El Paso home, expanded with a studio for my art, a garden for her herbs, life's a quiet drama. I teach workshops for queer youth, echoing Elena's outreach. We've fostered 3 kids, guiding them through their own unravelings. No fairy tale perfection. Arguments flare over shifts, society's stares linger. But in the hush of evenings, her head on my shoulder, sketching tomorrow, I know. Love is an absence of pain but presence through it. Kicked out at 12 I found not just shelter, but a love that rewrote my stars. And in America's border heart, where walls divide but spirits soar, that's the truest humanism. Choosing each other every damn day.